How's it going, everybody? This is Alex Caceres, and you're listening to Story of the Fight.
What is up, Will?
What up, what up?
Welcome, Story of the Fight listeners. Another week of fights, another episode. What are you thinking, Will?
It was one of those Apex weekends, huh?
Apex special. Well, everybody, my name's Ramiro. That's my boy, Will. This is where we talk all things combat sports. MMA, boxing, Muay Thai, Jiu-Jitsu, all of those combat sports. And we're going to mix it up a little bit today. Today, we're going to be covering that Apex card that Will had just mentioned. And also, we're going to be covering Platinum Mike Perry versus Jake Paul. Yeah, but first,
we'll start with that, right?
But first, before we do, remind everybody to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Goes a long way. We're trying to reach 15,000 subscribers. I think we're at 13.4 or something like that.
Something like that. We're up there. Getting there.
We're getting there, scratching and clawing. But we're doing it. But yes, if they don't like watching and they like listening, Will, there's other ways, right?
Yeah, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube Podcasts, anywhere podcasts are found. It's just Story of the Fight. Go to storyofthefight.com and it'll list all our socials, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Reddit, Twitch, everything. Just click through, follow everything. Makes it easier. If you're not watching this live and there's a fight that if you're like, I really want to hear what they say about Bruno Silva versus Cody Durden, there will be timestamps. So
I don't think anybody's going to do that because everybody's tuning in for Lemos versus Jandiroba, I'm sure.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the one. That's one. But yeah, let's go and get started. Well, are we going to start with Platinum Mike Perry versus Jake Paul?
We might
Is that
as
what
well.
we're doing?
Let's get it out of the way.
Let's do it. So we had another Jake Paul event. Look, I know people are getting pissed off. Some people are getting tired of hearing about Jake Paul in the boxing world, saying that he needs to fight legitimate boxers. Dude's still building up, right? He's building his way there.
Yeah, I think, I guess. The biggest problem that I have is just, it's not just that he's fighting the retired MMA fighters. The worst thing for me is that he's fighting like welterweights, like welterweight fighters that are then having to blow up to his weight. That part sucks.
As he's cutting, you have fighters that are trying to gain weight or,
yeah. Because
I see what you're saying.
Because, he has to build himself up, right? He's only had, 10 fights. So, he's not going to be fighting, legitimate boxers. First time he fought, a pretty legit boxer, he got outclassed, right? So, which is understandable. But if you're going to fight retired MMA fighters, at least fight the ones that are, in your weight class, But outside of that, I don't really care that much about him, getting so much fame off of fighting these, retired MMA fighters. I'm not clutching my pearls like a lot of people are,
Yeah, clutching your pearls.
It does suck seeing Mike Perry go down like that, though.
Oh, 100%, man. He's a fan favorite. Come on. Platinum Mike Perry going into this, I thought he was going to make it more of a brawl, and he seemed very hesitant since the very first round to let his hands go.
That was the craziest part. He kind of just walked him down, and he was doing a decent job of walking him down. Obviously, Jake played the role of a counter fighter in this fight, so he kind of allowed Mike to walk forward the whole time, but he would get him up against the ropes, get him against the corner, and just not go. And you're like, come on, man, what are we doing?
Do you think he was surprised by his power, by Jake Paul's power?
I think he was maybe
very
surprised.
Stiff jab. He kept on meeting him as he was walking forward a few times.
He would throw the left hook. It's like a wiping left hook constantly every time he would come forward too, which I think it's different than MMA and bare knuckle. It's just different the way that punch comes around, and it's easier to land it with a big ass boxing glove. You know what I mean? You don't have to land it with the size of your fist. It's much bigger, obviously. So I think he got caught a couple times and was like, "Oh fuck, I can't even get close to this guy. He keeps wiping me away with this left hook." But I mean, it is what it is. There's still a ton of stuff that Jake's doing that you're sometimes you see things and you're like, okay, yeah, he's clearly working on it and stuff. And he's getting better, but he still has really bad habits that he still hasn't gotten rid of. And that kind of sucks because he's kind of allowed to make these bad habits because of the matchmaking. And that's going to prevent him from getting better, I think, Yeah. You see him throw the jab and then follow up with the two, and he's a mile away and probably like a foot over his lead leg, leaning over it. And it's like, dude, that's not good. You can't be doing that if you're going to start like boxing boxers, you know?
Boxing boxers, he said.
Once you start boxing boxers, they're going to capitalize on that type of stuff. You can see like his feet, you know, if you watch his feet when he fights, like there's a lot of like pitter pattern, like it's not like stutter steps, like fainting stutter steps, like someone like Tyson Fury or something like that. It's like he's kind of just like hopping around a little bit.
Yeah,
Like, he doesn't plant very well unless he throws like a massive overhand. He's shaky on his feet at all times almost.
Yeah. And to your point, you said it earlier. It was tough watching Mike Perry go out the way he did. He's tough, man. We know this. He's too tough for his own good.
He had a good third round. That was about it, but it was a good third round.
Nice, but outside of that, it was just all Jake Paul, huh?
Yeah. What do you think would have happened if this was the Mike Tyson fight? If this Jake fought Mike Tyson?
I don't know, man.
I'll tell you what. I don't want to see it.
But we will. It will come on. I think it will still happen. So Jake Paul, another TKO victory. They're talking about up next is still Tyson. Mm-hmm. To your point, how many people are going to be tuning in? I don't know. I'm happy Mike Perry's getting paid for this at least.
Oh, he got a bag, dude. I'm sure. Where did they fight? Where was this? Do you know?
Tampa.
Oh, so they don't release the fight purses, huh?
No. And you know what? Paul, to his credit, good job going to the body early, setting up that shot up top.
Yeah.
He did that a couple times early in the first round. You could see he got a reaction out of Perry. And he's going to continue working on it, man. Not much else to say other than, we continue seeing small improvements. Do you really think he got outclassed by Tommy Fury? I feel like it was a lot closer than people thought.
I don't think it was close.
No?
I thought he pretty handedly lost that one.
Was it a split decision?
Probably. It's boxing. They're all split decisions.
True. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see who he fights next. Not much to say about the fight.
What you see what Connor said after? Can you talk about that maybe?
That he's releasing.
I put it in this slide. He said Jake Paul is the biggest piss bag I have ever seen in my life. 40-pound weight difference, juiced out of his head, and still shooting himself in there. Nikisa, you should take him to Vegas. Oh, that's right. You could never. The Athletic Commission testing, real fighting. Bitch asses. You could never. And then calling out 60-year-old Mike Tyson, fresh off an in-flight medical emergency. I swear to God, a fat can of bitch piss. Most valuable piss bag.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the one where he says he's releasing Mike Perry.
Hey, Mike, you're released and you can go and compete in your smelly, dirty boxing championship thing. The smell of it, good luck. You're fired.
Yeah, rough, huh?
That's tough, man.
Yeah, that's dude just got beat up, and then you're just throwing these jabs at him.
Yeah.
Social media jabs? Come on.
Like, damn, dude, what have you done lately? At least he's fighting, dude.
Hey, Jake Paul, right? As much as people hate on him, he talks some shit back to Conor McGregor, and he kind of made a point there. He's like, hey, dude, I'm out here fighting. You're just out there on your yacht. Oh, yeah, you didn't see that? He's like, dude, you're talking all this trash while you're on your yacht, coked out of your mind while I'm fighting.
Yeah. I mean,
hop in there.
I mean, Jake Paul, I think is not a very good person, but it is funny when he goes against someone like Conor or like Dana on like social media because he like actually understands that world and like calls them out for some real shit like fighter pay and like all that type of stuff. Like every time him and Dana would go at it, it was just like, damn, Dana, you should just stop, dude.
Stop.
Like
you're in his world right now.
You don't want this, dude.
Oh, and then he said something else too, like the notorious MMA scared of this little kid from Disney or something like that, dude. It was the way he said it.
Again, another fight that he probably would like to make. Obviously, he's going to make a ton of money. That he's going to outweigh him by even more.
That depends on how juiced out Conor McGregor is too. You know what I mean?
That frame, he could put on weight, but the frame is never going to be the same.
Yeah, Yeah. Paul did look massive compared to Perry yesterday.
Yeah, dude.
Massive.
I mean, Mike Perry fought at 170 in the UFC.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's where he
Yeah.
should be fighting is 170. Not what did they weigh in at? Do you know? 200
No
pounds?
clue. Was it?
200. Yeah,
Eesh.
that's
Rough.
crazy.
Rough. All right. Wait, enough of boxing.
Yeah, let's get
Let's
into
get
the
into the
real stuff.
real, the the
Yeah.
real main event everybody was looking forward to yesterday. We had Lemos, Amanda Lemos versus Virna Jandiroba in the main
Yeah.
event Apex card. Hey, what would you rate this card, Will? Scale 1 to 10.
Yeah, I think if you rate it, there's two types of ratings. There's ratings based off expectations, and then there's just like a clean rating. Off
Okay.
expectations, solid. Solid 7.4.
Give me a clean
Off
rating though.
clean rating, 6.3. I
Oh,
would say.
okay.
Maybe
Yeah.
6.1. I'll go 6.1.
Oh, 6.1.
What about you?
Man, you know me. I love star power, dude. I love seeing these big names in there. For me, so some of the cards or some of the fights in the main card definitely saved it.
Yeah.
Definitely saved
Yeah.
it. You know, some exciting fights. I'll give it a 6.6.
Even high? I thought you were gonna go
Yeah,
lower.
yeah. I'll give it a 6.6. No.
Yeah.
Because the card itself was fun. If it
Yeah,
would have
it's
had
entertaining
some big
fights.
names in the main event, I think it would have broken a 7 for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know? But hey, let's get to the fight. Main event, Amanda Lemos versus Virna Jandiroba. Classic grappler versus striker matchup, huh?
Yeah, dude. I mean, because Lemos can crack. She hits hard as hell, dude. Like
It's
super hard.
so weird how hard she hits, man.
Yeah, you can tell. Like, there's in the fights where when she lands a big shot, people's reactions are like, "Oh no, I've
Yes.
never been in there with this."
You know,
She's got some of that
you've seen
power.
that from Amanda Nunes sometimes. When Amanda
Yeah.
Nunes would crack some girls, they'd be like, "Oh, this is a whole different
Yeah.
level here."
Yeah.
And you see it with Lemos sometimes, man. When she lands flush on somebody, they definitely take a step back and start rethinking their life decisions. You know?
Exactly. And Jandiroba was like, I don't need to even feel that. I don't want to feel that. And her grappling, her takedowns weren't very good, but they were effective. Yeah, exactly. I mean, the first one, I think that's when Lemos jumped for a guillotine, I think, early in the fight. And I
Yeah.
was like, good move, but I don't know if you're going to guillotine Jandiroba. Her grappling is so good. And she didn't.
Dude, I thought she had her. She was squeezing
It looked
so
good.
tight that her eyes started moving off to the side a little bit. And I was like, what is going on here? I thought legit she was going to choke her out, but she didn't.
Yeah.
So.
And then you're like, oh, wait, she's still, man, she did some damage. She still looks like that.
Permanent damage. So clean sweeps. Clean sweeps from Lemos in the beginning, that first round. That was actually a fun grappling exchange.
Very cool first round. And you can see the difference where Jandiroba was fighting for position the whole time and scrambling. But then once Lemos did get on top, she landed. She was on top for like, what, 5 or 6 seconds? And within those 5 or 6 seconds, lands a nasty elbow from the top. And you're like, yeah, there's a difference between grappling for submissions and positions versus someone who's like, as long as I'm on top, I'm trying to do as much damage as possible. Yeah.
Yes.
Just with that one shot, I was like, God damn, you can't take too many of those. But then Jandiroba was scrambling even more.
Yeah.
Was it the sweep on the sweep in the first round? Was that off the fence? She had her feet up on the fence and then pushed off.
I think so. Yeah.
Super sick.
Super
I love
sick.
stuff like that.
Second round, some more of the same where Jandiroba gets another takedown. Ends up knee bar.
Well, she ended up on bottom and then goes for the leg lock. Uses the leg lock to have Lemos have to address it, go kind of for her own leg lock a little bit, and then uses that to then end up on top. Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah. But it's like she was so good at creating scrambles, and you know, like when you're grappling, you can scramble for a bit, and then eventually you gas from it, and then the next time you start a scramble, you just don't have enough to finish it, and she just kept moving in the scrambles, and eventually she would get to her positions. And then she started chaining stuff, dude. It was straight up, honestly, kind of a masterclass from Jandiroba on grappling. Like effective MMA jiu-jitsu, you know? It's rare these days. It's rare.
Went with the masterclass. So yes, she ends up taking Lemos back, attacking for the rear naked choke. I thought she had it too, but then a different camera angle shows Lemos had the chin tucked. And then from there, she does a good job of fighting off the wrist, right? She grabs the right wrist. She moves the hand over, and what happens
Yup.
from there, Will?
Yeah, so she literally moves it over, which is what you want to do, right? You want to move it over here so that then you can turn into it and then end up in their guard, right? If you're belly up and someone has your back. But when she turns and goes over here, her arm is literally primed for the transition to the armbar, and Jandiroba
Good
immediately
read.
slaps it on. What a
Good
great
read.
transition. What a great, and it's like,
So smooth.
and someone like that, guaranteed she let her isolate that arm. I think at that point she gave up on the choke. And once she got 2-on-1 on the arm, she was like, okay, fine. You got 2-on-1 on the arm. I'm gonna let you move it, but as soon as you do, I'm swinging my leg over and I'm getting this
You
armbar.
trying to say she was playing chess while Lemos was playing checkers?
100%, dude. Because that's at
Oh,
that level, to be effective at jiu-jitsu at that level in the UFC, in MMA in general, it's all about traps. It's not just working to your next position with a game plan in mind of like, all right, I want to get this submission and I'm working towards that. I need to pass here. Then I need to pass to this. And then I'll get the submission. It's all about traps. It's all about traps.
yeah.
And that's
And
why
she
it's
trapped
effective.
her. She trapped
Yeah.
her. And as soon as she starts, look, she's raising her hip, creating that extension. As soon as she did that, I thought, okay, let's tap here. And you see the arm come up, and she taps the leg once, and like
Yeah,
lifts it up again. And I was like, what's going on here? That
Brazilian
old
tap.
school Brazilian tap. Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna
Yeah.
say. And Jandiroba was like, no, I'm from Brazil
Yeah.
as well, girl. You ain't
Yeah, you're
tricking
not
me.
pulling that on me.
Yeah, and
That's my move.
The Jandiroba tap.
Yeah.
And look, dude, she just cranks it back even further. Lemos
Yeah.
tries to roll over, right, and get a better angle to be able to pull that arm out. And it was just sunken so tight. It was game
Not
over.
happening. Yeah,
No.
it was fantastic. Very fun fight to go back and like. There's some fights that you go back for as like examples of like what's some exciting grappling fights. You know what I mean? This one probably ends up on that list. Probably not the top of that list or anything like that, but it goes on to that list of like fun grappling fights to go back to if
100%.
you ever want to watch some fun scrambles and stuff like that.
For sure,
Definitely.
man.
And now,
Look, I know that not a lot of people were like, oh, they're looking forward to this main event, but I'll say this. It was still a fun main event. Either way.
it was fine. And look, for what it's worth, say what you will about the division or where it's at or anything like that, but it did have stakes to it. You know what I mean? Jandiroba coming into this ranked number 5, Lemos
Yep.
ranked number 3.
Yep.
This is potentially she's probably set up for a number 1 contender fight now.
This is what you've been asking for in the other divisions. It's like shake
'em
things up,
going.
right? Lemos loses, she needs to fight down.
Yeah.
Right? Let's get some
Exactly.
new blood in here. Let's
And-
keep it circulating.
Yeah, and Zhang Weili, she just beat Lemos, and then she beats Yan Xiaonan, and then so now it's like, all right, cool. Who's next? Tatiana Suarez, right? Jandiroba's
as long as
probably
she
right
stays
after
healthy.
that. She's next
As
in
long
line.
as Tatiana Suarez stays healthy, man. That's just been the story of her career, you know?
Yeah, but I like that there's now another new name, somebody that we can get in another title shot against Zhang Weili, so that Zhang Weili can start building a resume of different fighters as title defenses. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what you like to see. That's what I like to see from a champ. I don't care about double belts. I don't care about any of that shit when there's deserving contenders. And Jandiroba's now getting it. She's getting there.
Yeah, build your legacy in your division.
Dude, all right. What do people think? Do they think Jandiroba beats Zhang Weili? She outgrapples her? Subs her?
No.
You don't think?
Come on. No. I don't think so. What,
No,
dude? Yeah, I was gonna say, do you really think so?
No. Absolutely not.
You know what, dude? Jandiroba versus Jessica Andrade.
Why though?
Because it's
Jandiroba.
Because it's fun, Will. Because it's a fun matchup.
She gonna fight down?
Why not?
Because she's gonna skip 4. She should be in the top 3 in my opinion now.
Yeah. Well, I wonder what everybody else thinks. If anybody's watching, put on the comments. Let us know what you think. Do you think that Virna Jandiroba can actually take Zhang Weili? I don't know.
I don't think so, but that's what makes a great champion. And it's like, if you beat number 3, it's only up from there. And who's above her? Yan Xiaonan and Tatiana Suarez. Suarez is probably getting the title shot. Yan Xiaonan just lost to the champ. In my opinion, you should be at the bottom of top 5, fringe top 5 at that point. If you lose to the champ, maybe they do that fight. Yan Xiaonan versus Jandiroba. Have they fought? I don't think so.
I don't think so. I don't remember seeing that. I mean, we got to remember Virna Jandiroba is just reaching her ascension right now, right? She's just
Yeah.
peaking right now. So I
Well,
don't
she's
think
only
she's gonna...
lost to Carla Esparza, Mackenzie Dern in a grappling contest, basically, and then Amanda Hebus. Decision. All decision, by the way.
Okay.
And now she has wins over Amanda Lemos, Lupita
Jeong Willie
Godinez,
finishes her.
Marina Rodriguez, Angela Hill. She's beating all these girls.
Jeong Willie finishes her.
Yeah, I think so. But
All right.
I still need to see it.
All right, let's move on to the co-main event. We had Steve Garcia versus Seung Choi.
What a co-main. No disrespect.
Right.
This was supposed to be Iron Turtle, right? Was supposed to be the
Yes,
co-main, and then
yes,
they got canceled.
But Choi coming in with those heavy leg kicks actually kicks Garcia off his feet.
Yeah, because Garcia is trying to land that big rear hand, and he gets that inside leg kick right as he steps in to throw it, takes him off his feet. And he was like, fuck this. I'm done doing this.
With one of those, he steps in, lands that big left, puts Choi straight into like a fight or flight mode. Yeah. And you know how people are always like, oh, it's time to bite down on that mouthpiece and swing. And it's so funny because you watch this from replay and he's literally like biting down on his mouthpiece as hard as he can. Look at the picture there.
Yeah.
So good.
And dude, Steve Garcia is kind of sneaky good right now, dude. I don't think he has like the recognition that he kind of deserves, because if you look at it, he's 16-5 now. He lost his first UFC fight against Violent Bob Ross. He beats Charlie Oliveras. Okay. Then he loses to Mahashate, but then he steamrolls Chase Hooper, finishes Norden Becky, finishes Costa. Like, dude, he's got some good wins, dude.
I think they were saying this is his fourth win in a row.
Yeah, 4 in a row.
By knockout?
Left hooks and ground punches against Chase Hooper, uppercut to the body against Norden Becky, ground and pound against Costa, and now punches Seung Choi, dude. 4 violent finishes in a row.
I like it.
Dude, he literally he was getting kind of picked apart at range a little bit. It seemed like the open stance matchup, Seung Choi understood it a little bit better, maybe, or at least was ready to exploit the openings that it presents. And then Garcia, it seemed like Garcia was just like, all right, I'm done like sports fighting, and I'm just gonna start throwing this fucking heat, and we'll see what happens. Yeah, dude, it was awesome. Sometimes you got to do that. Sometimes when you're, and it's not like he was losing. It was still early in the fight, right? But like in other fights, you see guys who maybe they're starting to get picked apart a little technically, and you're like, all right, they need to start turning it into a brawl and just like disregard. You can't fight their fight, you know? Yep. And if they're fighting that fight clean and they're outpointing you and stuff like that, you need.
But what about when your fight is brawling? Then they're fighting your fight.
That's what I'm saying. Force it.
Wow, dude. Wow.
Force it. And he did. And then he hit him in the back of the head like 6 times and nothing happened.
Oh, no, something happened. And something happened to Choi. You know? Yeah. It was rock, dude. But hey, fun fight nonetheless. Forgot to mention, so the first, the main event that we just covered, finish, right? Mm-hmm. The co-main event we just talked about right now, another finish. Yeah. Did you have anything else on this fight before we move on to the next one?
No, let's do it.
And guess what, Will?
What's that?
Was this another finish?
No.
Stopped. So, Holobaugh versus Kruschewsky. I think this was the only one that actually didn't finish.
No, when you started that train, I was like, I wonder where he's going with this.
No.
Fight was a
no, but we're gonna cover this because it was on the main card. Yeah, it was still fun. So Holobaugh versus Kruschewsky. A lot of dirty boxing on the inside. Holobaugh did a fantastic job ripping to the body.
Ripping to the body. Going on. He'd rip to the body, and then as they would break, he'd land that clean, long right hand like that as he's like circling away and trying to escape. He kept reaching over the shoulder and catching him with it. Very cool. Shout out Blunderbug. Quick holler at the red light while I'm working, but I'm listening. Hey, shout out Blunderbug.
Shout out Blunderbug. He's a real one.
Not missing. UFC Vegas 94. He had to tune in. He had to hear what we were going to say.
He's like, I want to see what they say about Jandiroba versus Lemos. As long as I didn't miss out on Holobaugh versus Kruschewsky, you know? And look, nobody wanted this to be another finish for that streak to keep on going more than Holobaugh's little boy.
I know.
The entire fight, dude. Look, I know there's people who are like, what? They should be watching their parents fight. All this. Dude, I thought that was so awesome. You just hear him in the background, like, ah!
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, he sounds so intense. And then Fitzgerald's like, he does jujitsu as well. And so does his wife. And like he starts going off on the tangent about like the little kid doing jujitsu. Was awesome, dude.
Not bad. Not bad. Also, shout out to the commentary. I thought they were actually very good. Laura Senko and Fitzgerald worked very well together, and then DC was good enough.
You think so?
He was good enough. I thought they were fine. Laura Senko did lose her pants at one fight we'll talk
Her
about.
button popped off.
Broke her pants, dude. But yeah, I really liked and Kruschewsky did land some nice shots in the pocket himself when sometimes they'd start trading hooks like real tight. And he was landing some good shots, and Holobaugh was just like, I don't care. My kid's watching me. You think I'm gonna go down? Yeah. And then he almost finished it at the end of the second. He had him hurt bad up against the fence.
Was that when he was up against the fence, and then Kruschewsky's like posting up against the fence, right, ready to stand, and then Holobaugh throws a knee right to the chest as he's standing up, and I was like, dude, I wish more fighters did that, man.
Same, and they will start to now that the rules change.
October?
Yeah, well, in Nevada at least, it's up to the other states to adopt the rules. So
Nevada, okay, yeah. Well,
but yeah, for people,
I feel like 80% of the fights for the UFC are still in Vegas.
Oh, so. Yeah. That's where the apex is.
Yeah, dude.
But now putting your hand on the ground does not count as downed. It has to be basically the ruling of not a knee. It's the rule now is anything other than your hands or your feet. So basically, if anything is touching the floor that isn't your feet or your hands, you're not, or you're down.
So on your knee,
it could be your knee,
on
elbow,
your butt, or
forearm.
That's kind of whack still.
You're still down at that point if you have a forearm.
It's a step in the right direction, but
it's a step in the right direction, and it's not a solution. The solution is just to allow knees to grounded opponents in the first at all. But I like it because it's if you put your forearm down or down to an elbow, you now have so much worse of a base than if you put your hands down. So like you're still, if you want to play that game and down yourself, you're now putting yourself in a position to get basically ran over. You don't have a base in those positions, not nearly as well as putting your hands down. So you're giving up a worse position to be downed.
Yeah. For those fighters that would be standing and just bending over to just put their hand down.
Tripod.
Right. So you'd have to go down all the way. Yeah.
And if you're down all the way on your elbow, if you just pull someone over onto the same side that their elbow's on, they're just going to fall over. They can't post anymore, So much better. It's not perfect, but it is better. And
step in the right direction.
Even then, people are like, yeah, I want knees to the head of grounded opponents, but I don't want soccer kicks. And it's like, okay, if we're going to do that, then we still need to have a definition for a down opponent for when they get soccer kicked. You know what I mean? So like that doesn't eliminate this rule anyways, if you allow knees. But that's why you just allow soccer kicks also.
You just throw the rule books out.
I don't like head stomps. Well, I like them, but I'm okay with them not being there. I'm okay with them not being there. But soccer kicks, come on.
They just got to take on the pride rules, dude.
Pride rules with elbows would be the best.
Ideal.
Yeah. Give me elbows. It was weird that pride didn't have elbows. They're like, I don't want blood. And you're like, dude, we're stomping on their head.
Hey, by the way, so this next fight, Durden versus Silva. Hey, brothers? Did they look like brothers when the fight first started?
Yeah, dude.
I was like, Spider-Man meme, when they're both pointing at each other.
It's just one with a hairline, one without.
Dang, dude.
Hey,
dang.
What are you gonna do?
Hey, but he went to go get his hair done, didn't he?
Did Durden?
Yeah.
Damn, he should ask for a refund, huh?
Dang, dude. We don't know how much they did. They were probably like, hey, we can only go up this far, dude, okay? And he's like, dude, I'll take what I can get. Look, dude, in the beginning, Durden's combos looking really fast, man.
The whole fight, he was looking really good. Because he's kind of just like, a lot of people know him as just like a wrestler, right? But like in this fight, he was an animal, dude. He just would not let him. I mean, every time Silva's footwork was fantastic, but Durden was just on him like glue, dude. Threatening with the wrestling, breaking off the wrestling if he didn't think the takedown was there, and landing something off the break. Like he was just all over him,
poking his eye. Dude, I like how he pokes his eye, and then the ref stops and he goes, "It was a punch," as he walks away. And then Tanyoni's like, let me see the replay. And then 2 seconds, and he's like, oh, no, you poked his eye. Okay.
Yeah.
You got 5 minutes, dude. You got 5 minutes. So funny.
Yeah.
It was a
dude. Look at this picture, dude. They look so similar.
It's so weird.
Crazy, dude.
I know. Even Tapology, like if you take a look at Tapology, you're like, okay, they could be related.
Yeah, it just looks like a different day. Same guy, different day.
So weird.
Yeah.
So weird. It's so weird, man.
So weird, man.
But yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
the
that
turning
spinning back
sidekick
kick too. Oh,
awesome. Yeah, really cool.
Money.
About the worst time to get kicked by that when you're about to level change. You just eat that to the chest. It's got to be horrible.
Dude, so Durden seemed to be in cruise control up until he ducks to throw that overhand right. Silva times that uppercut beautifully, cracks Durden right under the right eye.
I thought that. Oh yeah, there it is. Bam.
And he had missed that earlier in the first round.
Yeah, it's
he
a
went
good read.
The exact same uppercut.
Well, because Durden was throwing that like the dipping jab. He would dip a lot because that's something you can do if you're a wrestler. Like you can dip in. Like there's 3 things that work well as far as like disguising what you're doing, right? Because a wrestler wants to level change, right? So they're gonna duck, they're gonna drop. So feinting that, they're dropping, right? And they pop back up, they drop, they pop back up. And you're like, are they shooting? I don't know. A lot of times they'll drop and then they'll use that to spring forward, throw their overhand, right? That's how Conor got knocked down by Khabib. The other thing you can do is jab and dip. The dipping jab, like that mystified Amanda Nunes when she fought Juliana Pena. So all 3 of those things are a very cool tool set for Durden to just cycle through. And so I think Bruno Silva, to your point, he was trying to throw that because I think that's something that they probably saw in Durden's previous fights. Like this guy ducks a lot to set up that takedown or hide the takedown or whatever it might be. If we can time that, we can clip him. And goddamn, dude, he pulled that one out.
He did. Clip him.
Shot his mouthpiece out. His mouthpiece went flying. And then you're like, I didn't see the mouthpiece live. I saw it on the replay. But then, so he drops him, or he rocks him, and then Durden takes a step to his left and then stumbles and falls. He's up against the fence, and Silva's just like full-on Dragon Ball Z punching combos from ground and pound. And I was like, damn, that's brutal. And they stopped it, and I was like, man, that's a rough one. And then you watch the replay, and the mouthpiece went flying. You're like, damn, all that with no mouthpiece? Durden's just, damn, he's about to go to Turkey, fix the hairline and his teeth, dude. That's got to be rough, man.
Damn, dude.
It's got to be rough.
But I'll say this. Super impressed with Durden in his last couple fights.
He's very good. Yeah. And he's clearly getting better, too. Despite losing here, he's clearly getting better.
Silva breaking into the top 15 after this fight.
Got to be, right?
Yeah, I think Durden was 14.
Yeah.
So props to Silva.
Gets the finish.
Way to pull that one out of the hat, dude. 4
fights in a row, he's finished.
Props. All right.
Yeah.
This is one of the ones I was really looking forward to. Some would say the people's main event here, dude. Yeah. Come on. Duo Choi, Superboy Choi versus Bill Algeo. Everybody looking forward to this one. Let's go. Okay. Superboy Choi. Is this guy ever not in a banger, dude?
He doesn't know any other way.
No.
And
I'm fine with it.
And it's been tough, man. Everybody knows him for the legendary Hall of Fame fight against Cub Swanson. That was 2016. Can you believe that?
Oh, my God.
That's crazy.
Since then, it doesn't seem like it was that long ago.
Yeah, since then he got finished by Jeremy Stevens. He got finished by Charles Jourdain. It's tough, dude. And then he had the draw against Cal Nelson. He was out for years because he had the mandatory military service over in Korea.
Props, dude. Props.
Yeah, respect. Got to do what you got to do. So I was like, man, let's get him back, huh? And then we got him back, and it's been tough. And you're like, can we just get this guy a win, man? You know, it's crazy. How old is he? He's 33 now. That's crazy, dude. It's crazy. But yeah, Bill Algeo doing Bill Algeo things. If you go back to that last picture, you see him the looking misdirect. He's like, I'm gonna hit you over here. Just kidding, I'm hitting you over here.
The no look.
He's so crafty, Bill Algeo. He's such a fun fighter to watch. And Duho Choi he still cracks, dude. You could see he just hits so hard, and Bill Algeo was chaining his wrestling pretty well. But you could see every time he would shoot in on a leg or something and get him down, kind of, Duho Choi's just sitting there looking like, man, we got to do all this before I knock you out. Like, I got to do all this. Like,
Yeah, and you know
like
what? I was thinking about it. Just
he looked
you
like.
brought up. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go for it.
I was just gonna say you brought up a really good point, right? Because to start off, I was like, man, Choi's looking a little slow right now. Like Algeo was
Yeah.
beating him first to the punch, and
Mhm.
Algeo was looking really good every time he was going first.
Yeah.
Choi seemed a little hesitant. He started off with a lot of leg kicks, trying to find his range. But you're right, we haven't seen him. I mean, he fought Charles Jourdain in 2019.
Yeah. Yeah, and real quick, Blunderweb says another stop. He had another red light. You're right. I couldn't wait for another week of Apex with 5 hours of tape analysis commentary from DC and random post-fight Trump glazings. It's my
Yeah,
little treat to myself.
there you go, man.
But yeah, in this fight, in those moments where they're grappling, you see Dooho Choi just barely moving, and he's just looking off like let's just stand up. Like, why are we still doing this? Like let's get on with this. And meanwhile, Bill Alger's like trying to isolate a leg, and like he's like working on him, and Dooho Choi just looks like he could not be bothered. And then he just gets up multiple times. The spinning back elbow from Bill Algeo up against the fence landed and right in the middle of his face. I don't know how he just ate. It didn't even wobble him. He just ate that. He didn't even like grimace after.
Yeah, it's what a few years in the Korean military will do to you, Will.
I
You
mean,
just
yeah,
receive that spinning back elbow, and you just keep on walking forward. And then Bill
yeah.
Algeo, hey, kind of liked that spinning back elbow, huh? And went back to it.
Got a little too comfortable with it, I think. One thing he also got a little too comfortable with, in my opinion, there's a couple slides in here that I got screenshots from to showcase it. A lot of this fight, he was fighting southpaw, right? And they were open stance. And if we go, I think not the next picture. Oh, here, this picture here. So this is them southpaw, right? Or sorry, Bill Aljo's southpaw, Dooho Choi's orthodox. So open stance. What you want to do is throw your rear hand, no matter what side of your open stance, right? Because the left hand, if you throw the left hook, can we go back a picture, Rich? If we throw the left hook, you're just gonna hit him in the shoulder, his lead shoulder. So what he does, what I noticed in the fight, and I'm now wondering if Bill Aljo does this a lot, and maybe it's like a habit that he has, is anytime Dooho Choi would move forward, he would, instead of shuffling back and staying in his stance, he would bring his right leg, which is his lead leg, and he'd bring that all the way back past his left leg. Now he's orthodox, and then he would retreat. And you're like, okay, that could be nice, because I think on that pivot, he likes to then throw the left hand, which would be his rear hand. And as he steps back, it becomes his lead hand. But Dooho Choi a couple times was landing off that switch. He started throwing those leg kicks. He would feint. Bill Algeo would turn back, and that would then make it an outside leg kick. And he would hit him while he's switching stances. And that's dangerous. You do not want to get hit while you're switching stances, because now your feet you don't have a base. So what he does here in this picture, he throws the right straight, and he gets Bill Algeo to step back with his right leg, which is the next picture. Bam, he steps back with his right leg. Now he's orthodox. The chin is no longer protected by that lead shoulder. And so Dooho Choi comes with that lead left hook, which now has a clear path. You see him wind up, and bam, he cracks him with it. He rocks him, and then he goes in for the kill. And that's when he throws the spinning back elbow, which then opens him up again orthodox, and he cracks him with that same left hook and probably broke his face, right?
Hey, I'm thinking it was a broken orbital. We have to probably look it up, do some homework, because as soon as he lands it, he does this thing where like
it's that right
squints,
there, man.
and then he touches the top right side of his face, and he runs his hand down to like his chin, and then he steps back and like shakes his fingernail as to say like, "Hey, yo, I'm done." Right?
Yeah.
Gets down, turtles up.
Dooho Choi says, "Not yet. You're not."
And he lands with one more right on that same side, bro.
Brutal.
Look at his face. Oh,
he's like, I've been out for a while. I need to land.
You're
this
not
next
taking
one.
this away from me.
Yeah, but really cool. I thought that was a good read from Dooho Choi to pick up on the fact that Bill Algeo, his first move back is switching stances back, and he was cracked on there. And then he's out there with the Korean zombies in his corner, and he's crying, and he's like so happy. And Korean zombie goes in there, they take a selfie. It's so cool.
That is sick, dude.
Come
Look
on.
at that. That's awesome, dude. That's awesome. All right.
This is what makes, on a weekend where Jake Paul knocks out Mike Perry, this is what the MMA world needs, is Korean zombie taking a selfie with Superboy Choi after a knockout win. Come on.
Fantastic. All right.
Fantastic. Break the card at 7.3.
Oh, dang, dude.
No, I'm kidding.
Oh, just like that?
No.
I think this is gonna be the last fight we're gonna cover. Hyder Amil versus Jeong Lee.
Yeah, dude. Young Lee coming off of Road to UFC. Very good tournament. Very skilled.
What an
I don't
insane
think.
fight.
Yeah, I don't think he thought this was going to happen because you could see that he's very good. And Hyder Amil is also very good, coming out of the Scrap Pack El Nino Training Center with Gilbert Melendez. So I'm rooting for him in this just because I like his fights. He's very fun. He's someone that people are going to start paying attention to very soon. Even before this, it's like talking about a perfect nickname, right? We just had Eddie
Yeah.
Abasolo on. Very good nickname, Silky Smooth. Hurricane Hyder Amil. This was a hurricane, dude. I don't know. Like, this was a definition of a hurricane in there.
Dude, so that
So
first
cool.
exchange, Lee cracks Amil, right?
Yeah.
I think it was like a counter right. And you
Stuck
see
it in there,
Amil,
dude.
the eyes, like
Yeah.
look up into the ceiling. And I was like, oh, he might be done after this.
Yeah,
Recovery was
there's a
insane.
great picture of that landing. Very
really?
sneaky shot. Yeah, very sneaky shot from Young Lee to land that because they were already hooking at that point, and he just slips it in as he's fading away. Woo!
Oh, it was a left. It was a left. That's what
But
it was.
I think maybe that isn't it. Maybe there was a right hand right after this because I do remember him looking up to the right.
Right?
Like
That's
he
what
got
I
hit
thought.
that way. I mean, I could be wrong, but maybe there was.
But either way, he gets
activated.
cracked.
He activated Berserker mode, dude.
Dude, yeah.
It was
And
like
Lee was there for it.
Yeah, Lee was like, "All right, cool, we're swinging and banging, let's go." And then Hyder's like, "I don't think you're ready for this 38 punch combination, dude."
38 punch combo. Holy! I think this is the one that burst
Yeah,
Lorosenko's pants.
yeah, broke her pants. She was screaming so much and so wow, her pants broke. Fucking crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Hyder Amil, dude. This guy's and what was his last fight was fucking awesome too. Yeah, Fernie Garcia, that was awesome, dude. In his UFC debut.
He's 10-0 now. 10-0.
Yeah, he is top prospect in my opinion, dude.
Someone to watch.
He also again, shout out Ghost. He wrote a Substack article where he was talking about the double collar tie he used to shuck Lee off when he clinched him up against the fence. He just goes double collar tie, push up, turn over, and then he escapes. I like it.
I like it.
He's like, I'm not just getting held on this fence, dude. Very good win here, though. Very good win. This was like remember when Chris Lieben fought Wanderlei at UFC 132? I think it was.
Taking it back.
Dominic Cruz versus Uriah Faber, I think.
Taking it back, huh? What'd you rate that card?
It was UFC 132, Dominic Cruz, Uriah Faber. We had Chris Lieben, Wanderlei Silva in the co-main, Dennis Seaver versus Matt Wyman, Tito Ortiz versus Ryan Bader, Carlos Condit versus Stun Gun Kim.
Damn, that card was stacked.
Very good. Prelims had Melvin Gillard, RDA versus George Soteropoulos. Remember him? Brian Bowles against Takeya Mizugaki, Brad Tavares versus Aaron Simpson. Good card, dude. UFC 132 is
as
sick,
good as the Apex cards we have now, but
yeah, but
it'll do.
But the reason I bring it up is in that Wanderlei Chris Lieben fight, they start the fight, they walk to the center, Wanderlei cracks Chris Lieben, and he's like, he freezes for a sec, and then he just single collar tie and just spams uppercuts. It's like he got cracked and was like, all right, we're going to war, and just flatlined Wanderlei as he's falling, knocked unconscious. He lands like 2 uppercuts that he's falling into.
Shout out Lieben, by the way.
27 seconds. What a fucking legend, dude.
What a legend. If you haven't seen our interview with Lieben, make sure you go back and check it out. That was one of our first interviews, huh?
Yeah, it was awesome, dude. That was one of my OG favorites, dude.
Yeah, that was good. That was good. All right. That's all we're covering. Moment of silence.
Yeah, moment of silence. We had Brad Tavares versus Iron Turtle. That got canceled the day before. Tracy Cortez was supposed to fight Miranda Maverick, and she ended up taking the short notice fight against Thug Rose. Dan Ige was supposed to fight Joe Anderson Brito. Brito broke his leg or something. I don't know what happened. And then they rebooked him against Chepe Mariscal, which would have been a very fun fight. But then Ige pulled the most gangster thing of all time and stepped in on a day's notice to fight.
Not even full 24 hours. They're like, hey, what are you doing right now?
It was like 4 hours.
What are you doing right now? You want to come by? Fight?
Crazy, dude. So, yeah, obviously that fight didn't happen. I would like to see that happen again, but I'm sure Ige will get a much higher ranked opponent after what he did for the UFC.
And bonuses. Monies.
Hyder Amil got a bonus.
Well deserved.
Banger.
Yes.
Bruno Silva got one for his comeback knockout.
Okay.
Very good.
I like it.
Steve Garcia got one for his back of the head shots.
That's good.
Yeah.
Oh,
and then Jandiroba got one for her troubles. And then did we get one for watching Thomas Peterson versus Muhammad Usman? I feel like we should get one after watching that fight. Nah, no disrespect. It was just horrible.
50K, baby. Oh man, what do we got next week?
Next week we have UFC 304. Shout out Big Marcel on Twitter for putting together these graphics. If you don't follow him, you should, because he is probably top 5 people to follow for MMA stuff. Very good. We got ranking. Leon versus Bilal for the main event. Fucking hell yeah. Finally. I am unironically hyped for that. I know a ton of people aren't, but goddamn, I want that fight to happen. Aspinall versus Blades.
Give me Aspinall versus Blades.
Very good as well. Super good fight.
I like how
you were robbed the first time.
They went to the person that does the posters like, yo, dude, we got to try something different, okay? And he's like, I know. Let's just take the pictures that I was going to have on top, the pictures I was going to have on the bottom, and just slide them side to side.
Yeah. What if they are looking across at each other? Dude, you'll see it. When I make it, you'll see it.
It's a totally new design, dude. You're going to flip.
Yeah.
You're going to flip.
Just like them. We got King Green versus Patty the Batty, which is also a fun fight. Say what you will about Patty. People like to talk shit, but his fights are fun. We got RoboCop versus Christian Leroy Duncan. That's a fucking banger, dude. That's a guaranteed finish. We got Arnold Allen versus Giga Chikadze. Kind of crazy that's not. I would put that maybe above RoboCop versus Duncan, maybe. That's a very high level fight. Makayev versus Manel Kopp. Let's go.
Your boy.
Yeah, fuck, that's good.
Oh, this is gonna be a big step up for Makayev, dude.
Oh yeah. But then Nathaniel Wood versus was that Daniel Pineda?
Yeah.
That's a very good fight as well. We got your girl, Meatball Molly.
Meatball Molly, let's go.
Yeah.
You can't have a Patty the Batty fight and not have Meatball Molly on the exact same card.
No. And she's against Bruno Brazil. That's a decent fight. Jake Hadley's back against Laughlin, however you say it, who's also very fun. Another Cage Warriors guy. Yeah, dude, this is actually a very good card.
Looking forward to it, man.
Very good card.
Looking forward to it.
Your new favorite fighter is stepping in on short notice to have her UFC debut up against Shauna Bannon. That's Alice Ardeline. That's your new favorite fighter, dude.
Is it?
Yep.
Okay, well, we'll see.
You're like, I'm gonna have to do some research.
Yeah, do some research. See what should be my next favorite fighter.
Watch some tape.
Study some film. All right.
Study.
Well, hey, thank you, Glenn Bro, for joining us. Just a friendly reminder, anybody that joins us live has an opportunity to chat with us. It makes it so much more fun whenever we get to chat the fights live as we go, as we're covering the fights. If you haven't already, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, goes a long way. And we're also trying to reach 15,000 subscribers before we get to that 20. We're working our way up. We're getting there.
Check out our interviews. We had Eddie Apicolo on. Watch that interview. He's sick.
One of the most exciting Muay Thai fighters out there. One of the nicest guys 100%. Out there.
Yeah.
Right. Hey, and for anybody that's wondering who produced this podcast, it's none other than Mr. Richard Bustos in the background. Maybe? Woo. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us for another week of Story of the Fight.